In today's video, we're doing again Copilot in Power BI, but it's going to be on the front end side, mainly report development, adding, deleting, altering, and enhancing visuals, doing all sorts of formatting and seeing what its limitations are. Hi everyone and welcome back. In today's video, we're doing part 2 of the Copilot in Power BI and Fabric series. In the previous video, we did Copilot in Power BI backend. We looked at the semantic model and how much it can edit, change, and add in it. We did measures, relationship changes, documentation, and even DAX development. In today's video, we're doing again Copilot in Power BI, but it's going to be on the front end side, mainly report development. Let's jump into it. Okay, so we're into the demo, and before we start, again, same prerequisites stand as the first video where we talk about the Power BI semantic model, the data modeling, all the back end of the Power BI, and it needs to be well handled, good data modeling principles, and just good naming conventions. All of that stands here, but also one more thing. So this is the official documentation from Microsoft on writing Copilot prompts for creating report pages in Power BI. And this is a very fast, quick read, just a couple of sample prompts. I'll be using some of these directions they've given us in the video. So yeah, this is just, I'll link it into the description of the video. And it's good to read it and know how to use Copilot as Microsoft intends. Okay, so before we start prompting, Copilot is at the middle of the ribbon. We click it and it does show up. So first prompt, create an executive sales dashboard using this semantic model. Include the KPIs, charts, and slicers you believe are most useful for an executive audience. Organize the page using Power BI best practice with a clean and professional layout. Now, doing this because I'm not giving it too much context. I want to see how it performs with it being given a little more, not that detailed directions, and we can see in real time it's doing it. It made the title executive sales overview, 2 KPIs, 2 slicers, and 4 visuals. It's got a line graph, a line chart, and then 2 bar charts, and then this last one is a line chart, just like this one. So 2 line charts, and okay, pretty interesting. It did a pretty good job of compiling basically a whole report by itself, and it does show some description here. It basically tells us what it made and all the slicers and visuals, metrics, KPIs it did. Okay, it's pretty interesting, pretty nice. Now, Microsoft does recommend prompts should be more detailed, should have much heavier context, and just it should give Copilot as much direction as possible. So next one, create a report page to analyze sales performance by product. Include total sales amount, gross profit margin percentage, and total order quantity. Compare products, categories, and subcategories across regions and over time using the most appropriate visuals. Include relevant slicers and organize the page using Power BI best practices. So we're trying to give it kind of a similar prompt, but more how Microsoft recommends prompting, but just be more detailed. Just tell it what you want more explicitly and more precisely. Okay, it's starting now. Product sales performance. Now, it's kind of doing similar stuff. Like the format, as you can see, the format is basically the same. It's the exact same format. A title, 2 slicers, 2 KPIs, 4 visuals. However, much more detailed now. We can see some of these visuals are much more detailed, especially this bottom left one where it's category and then there's measures, total sales, gross profit margin percentage, total, and this is the thing we mentioned here. So this is really nice, and it is showing that it will compile a report. It will generate a report like you want, as long as you give it a more specific prompt. So this is very nice. Okay, now I want to prompt it and see if it can actually see its own work and kind of improve on it, kind of refactor its own work and do some enhancements on the visuals and stuff it's basically generated. Review this report and identify any visuals that could be improved. replace them with more appropriate visual types where necessary, and explain why your changes improve the report. It gave us the output, and it said, here are the improvements I've applied. Replace the scatter chart with a clustered column chart. And it did work. The scattered chart wasn't that good. It wasn't really showing anything. It was like a broken visual, or it wasn't being applied to the data correctly in our context. And so it did see it, and it is fixed. It is much better now. The clustered column chart looks like a much better fit. And I think that's the only thing it changed, and then it told us why it changed that. So improves executive usability, better use of limited screen real estate. That's really nice. And then it gives us some things that it can actually try and refine next. So that's pretty good. Okay, so I want to prompt it now a little more specifically. I want to target a specific visual and tell it to do something with that visual. So I say remove the total sales amount by category and group visual and replace it with a matrix showing product name and total sales amount. Sort the matrix by total sales amount in descending order and apply formatting consistent with the rest of the report. So I want it to replace this one with a matrix. So it's doing it. That's pretty nice. It did exactly what I told it to do. Now, there is a not applicable, but this is just a data quality thing here. And yeah, it's doing exactly what I told it to do. It did a matrix with name and total sales amount as fields, and then it sorted it by descending total sales amount value. Okay, it can pick up directions for replacing a visual pretty well. So that's really good. So next one, I actually want to ask it something. Can you see the values of the KPI cards and visuals currently displayed on this report? Can I actually read the data? Output complete. No, I can't see the actual values currently showing on your KPI cards and visuals. Oh, okay, that's pretty interesting. Access restriction and limitation. Here's what I can and cannot access. I can see and modify structure metadata, what fields are used, the visual types, layout intent filters. I can create, update, or delete visuals using the metadata. I cannot see the rendered numbers or charts on your screen. I don't see the exact KPI values. I don't see which bars are tallest exactly. If you want to validate the specific KPI visually, you can either tell me what you see and I can, okay, so you have to kind of hold its hand and tell it what numbers you are seeing and what needs to be. And so kind of work together to validate the numbers. I just wanted to show you one more feature. It's analyze this report and show an executive summary. So it's going to generate an executive summary of the report by highlighting the most important metrics such as total sales and gross profit margin. It also breaks down performance across different product categories, products, regions, and time periods, organizing everything into clear sections. Those sections include key trends, regional and time-based performance, category and product insights, margin analysis, as well as potential risks and recommendations. Okay, so last prompt, and I still want to talk about its capabilities a bit and just see its limitations and what it can do, and describe everything you are currently capable of doing in Power BI. Let's just do this. Separate your answer into two actions: what you can reliably do today and your current limitations, including tasks you cannot perform, information you cannot access, and any known restrictions when creating, editing, or analyzing reports. Be as specific and honest as possible. Huge text, output it, and there's a lot of reading here to be done. But let's try to go over it. Below is a precise description of what I can and cannot do, what I can reliably do to understand your semantic model. Okay, so we did this in a previous video, kind of just look at the back end and see what's there, what tables, what kind of schema, measures, and all of that. Okay, layout visuals. I can design slicers. I can make them KPI metric cards, charts, and other visuals. There's all that it can do. Page organization. Use a standard executive friendly layout. Okay, so add new visuals to an existing page. Okay, modify existing visuals. That's nice. Delete visuals. Specific data questions outside the report. Canvas. Okay. Summarize and list reports. Suggest report page topics. Provide best practice guidance and explanations. Current limitations. Okay, this is what we want to read now. I cannot see the live report the way you do. Cannot view exact numbers, bars, lines, current slides. Okay, I can only see the schema, visual metadata. I cannot modify everything about page. Page level properties. So I cannot directly change page titles, page layouts, configurations, page level filters, filter panes. Okay, that's interesting. It can't access the page level filter and just filter panes explicitly. Beyond describing precise format positioning, I cannot position visuals by pixel or grid, adjust theme, colors, fonts. Okay, that's a pretty big limitation, not being able to just do the background and theme and canvas stuff. Advanced features, I cannot create or modify bookmarks, cannot access R Python visuals, custom visuals that are not supported, cannot create new measures or calculate columns in your model. I'm explicitly restricted from creating new measures. Okay, this is only if we kind of tell it to do it, limited when answer. Okay, visuals from Q&A. So overall, it cannot do certain things. So before ending the video, I wanted to talk about Copilot limitations once more. What can it and can't it do? So it can look at the semantic model and read it. It can look at the tables, measures, and all of its items. It can make a whole report with different KPIs, charts, matrices, tables, and all sorts of other visuals. It can add, edit, or delete a visual. It can also just target a specific visual and change it or replace it. It can generate an executive summary for quick analysis, trends, and insights for easy consumption and understanding of the data. It can also provide different topics on what reports need to be done and general recommendations on Power BI, best practices for design. What can't Copilot do? It can't actually read the data and values that it has generated on the report itself. On all of the visuals, charts, everything that's on the report, the values and data, it can't actually see it. It also doesn't have access to the semantic model in terms of data refresh, data source, and row level security. It can't edit DAX. So even though in the semantic model view, Copilot could add, delete, alter a lot of measures in DAX, it can't do that in the report view. It cannot precisely format a report and visuals either. If you want pixel precise formatting, padding, and just a specific background or a theme, it can't do that. It also can't add QA visuals to Copilot created report pages. Overall, in my opinion, Copilot is more limited in the report view than it was in the semantic model view. At current limitation, it can't replace an analyst or user. Sure, it can add or edit some visuals, some quick workflow efficiency gains, but overall, if we need a detailed and well-rounded report, an analyst or a user must do it. That's all for today's video on Copilot in Power BI Report View. Thank you for watching. See you next time.